So something I wanted to make sure I get in the video, which I'll probably end up putting in the beginning, probably, is in the little corner there. And you can see just a tiny little thing constantly there. I did not have my phone in the little thing I was wearing straight, so the edge of the plastic was just barely getting in there. It's kind of sort of annoying. I understand things like that can drive people crazy, myself included. I just wanted to make sure I apologize about it. Also, on that note, I did not say what seasonings I put in the water when I was making the noodles. Just put all of them. All of them. All the seasonings I listed, seasoned to taste. As far as seasoning the eggs, I added salt, pepper, I believe Italian, and a little bit of cumin to those. I forgot to show me cooking them at all. I was going to, but like I said, I had the heat too high, so it was on and then it was done cooking almost immediately. There was nothing to record. Then I overcooked them, of course. So, sorry about that. I just want to make sure I got those in there. Anything else I forgot to say? Nothing really. Just I hope you enjoy the video for this delicious chicken ramen. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between. I am the Angry Gentleman, and this time around I figured I'd show you what I wear while I'm cooking. Got my Let's Cook apron, and bandana around my head. I don't have any actual aprons. You don't have to cover up your head if you're just cooking by yourself or for other people, but it helps. The last thing you want is to go in to eat something and there's a hair. It's just nasty. And this is how I record without hands while I'm doing my cooking videos. I first started off with a cardboard box, which part of me kind of wishes I had saved because it was how I started with it. I just made it out of cardboard, hot glue, and determination. And then I have like this thing that always keeps it upright no matter what way I hold it, for the most part. Sometimes it's a little temperamental, but for cooking videos I can't exactly be using my hands with it, so what I do is I have this. I actually got it from Dave & Buster's. In similar news, I no longer have any points, but I'll fix that soon. Not that it matters to any of my videos, but still. So, this is the Cooking Gentleman. Today, we are making homemade chicken ramen. This will be interesting. I've never done this before. That's why it's fun. Let's go. First thing you do, no matter what you're cooking, wash your hands. If you don't wash your hands while you're cooking, anything you've touched will end up in the food. Even if you cook it, it's nasty. I mean, like, imagine if you took your dog for a walk and you had to pick things up and then somebody cooked without washing their hands first. It's nasty. Okay. So we have celery, green onions that grows in the fridge for some reason. But green onions all the same. You can just buy yours from the store. You don't want too many because they are not the best flavor, but they will help with the overall flavor. So just grab a little and then set them aside for now. my hands again because I have no idea what I just touched. Chicken that I had thawing overnight, although fresh is always better. Lettuce. You don't want an entire thing. Stupid thing. You don't want an entire thing of spaghetti. And it doesn't have to be thin spaghetti, but I'm probably going to use maybe half of this at most. You want chicken and vegetable stock. They did not have vegetable stock where I was, so I went with vegetable broth. There really isn't that much of a difference. Maybe a slight flavor difference, but it shouldn't be that big a deal. Then our seasonings for today is Italian salt. I always prefer sea salt because it's actually supposed to be healthier than normal salt, although I'll take either or. It doesn't have to be sea salt. Garlic, just a little bit of cumin, some pepper, and rosemary. Ooh, I forgot to get it out, but we also need 2 eggs. I'll get those and I'll be right back. So, we need 1 egg. It's supposed to be 2, but I'm not going to go to the store for 1 egg. Again, sorry if this thing is shaky. Recording with no hands is a little difficult. So this is what we're gonna want to do. We're gonna want to preheat the oven to 350 degrees and toast this on a tin-foiled plate. Not plate, but like one of those metal tins for do 20 minutes and check it. I wouldn't go more than half an hour, but we'll get to that in a second. Just chop up a little bit of celery, the green onions, and rip up some lettuce. Do not mix your lettuce with the other 2. We'll get to that in a minute. You want to cook your spaghetti while the chicken is cooking. And, well, I'll get to that next. But you want to cook the egg last. Here we go. Might I add that this neck thing is really uncomfortable, so you should be thanking me, YouTube. Anyway, before we put the chicken in the oven, which is preheating at the moment, you want to cut it up really good. Anyway, it's still a little frosty, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. You want to make sure you do it on a cutting board. That was weird. You want to always make sure you wash your hands before and after handling raw meat, especially chicken, because it can use some of them. So you want to just trim the not so good parts off. Anywhere where you see that whitish color, that's going to be like fat and whatever, so you don't want that. Oh, this is really hard to watch. It's really hard to do. I know my hands are down here, but I see it much closer than it should be, which is also simultaneously smaller than it should be. Really messes with my eyes. Oh God, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I get a bit of motion sickness and it was really tripping me out. I couldn't handle knowing what I was doing down here, seeing it up here, yet it was smaller than it should be if I was seeing it. It really bothered me. What's that? I forgot to start preheating the oven. I am stupid. I am the stupid gentleman. Anyway, for the chicken, and we're gonna need these seasonings later, so don't forget about them. We're gonna do the salt, rosemary, and Italian. And then that's all you want to do for it now. Just wait for the oven to preheat. Toss it in for 20-30 minutes or however long it takes to cook. And we'll move on to the next step. Right now we can't cook anything because it'll take a while for the chicken to be done, and we want to make sure that we get everything done around the same time. So for now, we're going to just mince these vegetables. Again, I won't do it on camera because it will make me vomit and lose my mind with the motion sickness. And then after that, just want to rip up a pile of lettuce. Preferably fresher lettuce. This is a bit of an older lettuce. Just try to get the greenest parts you can. Here we go. Alright, so I have my minced green onions and celery. Then I have my ripped lettuce. You want to make sure you keep these separate from each other, because this is going to go in the broth almost right away. And, well, not broth, but the main, soup part of it. And this is going to be added in maybe a minute before it's done at most. So the chicken is about to go in. As soon as it does, what you want to do is you want to grab a small pot and start boiling your noodles. As soon as that's done, we'll move on to the next step. Something I forgot to mention before is that you want to add your seasonings to the noodle water before it starts to boil. It really helps with the flavor and everything. You can see the difference already. This will help season the noodles themselves as well. It'll have a bit of a strong smell, but on the noodles, which you end up actually putting in the dish, it'll actually help. And then once we're done with this, you want to dump it out, keep the noodles aside, and then you want to put the veggie and chicken stock in here, as well as the chopped green onions and celery, all into the same thing. And you want to kind of mix it together and cook it just a little bit more. And about halfway through that, I'd go maybe 10 minutes, and you want to add the chicken, and then you want to add the chicken in for the last 5 minutes. That should be it. And then the last minute, you want to add the celery. And while that's all cooking with each other, what you want to do is you want to take a pan on a different burner, and you want to make 2 fried eggs. And luckily my mom is done with her work, and she helped me find out that we do have more than 1 egg, so we'll be able to do both. Let's do it. Something I forgot to say is when you're cooking your noodles, the best way to do it is on high. When you switch everything out, everything else in, and start cooking again, you should start with low heat. You don't want to overcook anything. While that is cooking, you want to make sure you stir it from time to time. But you also want to make sure you start working on those eggs. You only need 2 of them. So let's get working. And here we have our chicken ramen. I know I didn't show it, but make sure you add the lettuce in for the last minute of cooking. Just make sure you stir it real good, and voila. So I made the chicken ramen, and it was pretty good. I was actually making it for my mom. I don't particularly like ramen, or if I'm being honest, anything with vegetables. But I got a 9 out of 10. Probably would have been a 10 out of 10, but someone didn't give 10 out of 10s. Because nothing's perfect. And I can accept that. Technically, she gave me an 8 out of 10, but that's because I overcooked the egg. I had the heat too high, but I'll mark it as a 9 out of 10. I just won't mess up again. This has been cooking chicken ramen at home with the Angry Gentleman. The Angry Gentleman, signing out.